Ready, go! Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Clayton Chapman, and today I'm making one of my favorite breakfast items, the classic quiche. To me, the real star of a quiche is this flaky pastry crust that lines the bottom of your baking tin. In my particular recipe, I love to use what's called a 3-2-1 dough. I use the same dough for a sweet pie, as well as a savory pie, as well as a quiche. I love this particular quiche because I'm making it with a mix of what's called broccolini, which is just a little more tender version of broccoli, some leeks. I'm also gonna have some shaved hard cheese, fresh parsley, lemon zest, and garlic. And then the custard itself, farm fresh eggs, and creme fraiche. I like to start by rolling out my crust. This crust I've made a day ahead. I've allowed it to chill in the refrigerator until it sets up. I like to roll mine out between about an 1/8 and a 1/4 inch. This is gonna rise a little bit as it bakes, but the thinner you roll it, the crispier it's going to get. Just like to measure my pie tin, make sure I've got plenty of room. Let's take just a little pinch of butter, rub the inside of our pie tin with it. This will just help so our crust doesn't stick. Take my dough, drape it over my tin. So we're securing the dough in the bottom corners here, all the way around, making sure that it's flush against the pan. All right, once we're secure all the way around, I'm gonna do what's called docking the dough. Simply taking a fork, poking some holes in it, so as this bakes to crisp, it will not rise. A few on the sides here. One more firm press just to make sure it's secured in. And a little trick, just take your rolling pin, go right over the top of your pan here. And this will ensure you have the perfect size crust for your pan every time. There we go, beautiful. Now at this point, I like to do what's called a blind bake. Take our pastry crust, place in a piece of foil, and then a lot of folks like to use what we call our baking beans. So these beans just provide a little weight. This is gonna go in a 350-degree oven for about 12 to 15 minutes until it's golden brown all the way around. While my crust is baking in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and start getting the filling ready. About medium heat. In goes a healthy pat of butter. Wouldn't leave home without it. Leeks can go in. Salt goes in almost immediately. Fresh cracked black pepper. Fresh bay leaf and fresh thyme. Putting them in while you're sauteing. These particular herbs do really well. As my leeks are starting to soften and caramelize here, they do not have as much water in them as, say, an onion would, so they do cook a little faster. I'm gonna go ahead, add my broccolini in. This is gonna cook all the way through just in the pan here. A little more salt. Add an additional pat of butter here as all my vegetables begin to soak it up. And then I have some fresh minced garlic. Now I like to add my garlic after the onions and broccolini have started to soften and char a little bit, simply because the garlic is minced so fine that it's going to cook pretty quickly. Smells incredible. While this finishes, we can go ahead and get our eggs, creme fraiche custard going. You know, this could be the base for a frittata as opposed to quiche. You know, the same creme fraiche and egg ratio could be the base for a French toast before you add some of your spices. So I have 8 farm fresh eggs. You can smell the broccolini really starting to char, the garlic softened and sauteed. So at this point, what I like to do, turn off my heat. I'm gonna allow that to sit for a minute while I finish my custard. Eggs whisked together, healthy pinch of salt, fresh cracked black pepper, creme fraiche. All right. I like to zest the lemon first into this. Go ahead, give it a cut, squeeze the lemon juice in there. And this lemon juice is really doing 2 things. It's adding acidity and it's brightening this up, but it's also acting as like a deglazing agent and releasing some of that, what I call that deliciousness or that fond in the bottom of the pan, all those little brown nibbits and crusties. I have my flat leaf parsley that's going in. Remove my fresh herbs before I add in my cheese. So I like to add the cheese and the parsley off the heat, but while this pan still has residual warmth to it. Set this aside. We're gonna add some more here in a moment. So then we're going to add our hot vegetables to our eggs. Adding my vegetables to my eggs like this really does two things. One, I'm making sure that all of my custard is evenly mixed and that the vegetables are evenly dispersed through the entire batter. Stir everything here to combine. I like to go in with a little more cheese. Smells so good. All right. It's been in the oven for, I don't know, about 10 to 12 minutes or so. So what you can see is the exterior, the outside, the top layer of the crust is developing this beautiful like golden brown. And then the base, you can see, still has a little bit of raw dough to it. The color is a little bit pale. And I'm gonna put this back in the oven for about another 3 to 4 minutes. And now we wait. A couple minutes. Okay, so my crust is out of the oven. The bottom is crispy, the outside is crispy. We'll go ahead, scoop the rest of this into here. Great. Spread the ingredients throughout a little bit. Put that last layer of cheese over the top. Fresh cracked black pepper. This is gonna go in a 350-degree oven for about 30 to 45 minutes. So what I love about this so much is you can see the crust just flake apart. It's just so buttery and rich. Our custard is completely set all the way through. Should we give it a taste? It's delicious, it's moist, packed full of flavor. The robustness of the broccolini and the caramelization of the leeks really binds well with like that bright, acidic lemon flavor. Yeah, so I love this quiche for its utilitarian nature. It's great for 3 square meals a day, whether it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It can be eaten cold, it can be eaten warm, it can be made the day ahead, it can be made the day of. I hope that it becomes a staple in your home kitchen as it has in mine. Thanks guys, take care, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for tuning in today. If you're enjoying our series, please feel free to hit subscribe below so you can be the first in the loop to join us each week as we release new content. I think this burner shit the bed.